To be determined, Friday show, episode 5. TGIF, my friend, what's going on?
It's only 12 minutes into
They
into
don't
Friday.
know that,
but it
though.
counts. But it counts.
The people don't know that.
Transparency.
We're recording this late Thursday night.
No.
Maddie's got a
It's
busy Friday.
Hey, 12-12, make a wish.
That's not a thing. It's 11-11.
It is now.
I wish that 1,000 people will watch this episode.
Nice. It will come true. The
All right,
power
man.
of 12-12.
All about the playoffs on Thursday tonight. Last night.
No, last night.
We'll start with the NBA and breeze through this, at least the game, 5 of the Celtics and the Cavs. It was over to me when LeBron hit the corner 3 to give the Cavs 40 points. He hit it as the shot clock expired and then just sort of walked back like, you guys are done.
Well, it was so much like Game 1 and Game 2. It definitely went back to that. I mean, last game, Game 4, they were just kind of toying with him. You never really thought, even with a double-digit lead for the Celtics in the first half, as if they were actually going to win. And even when Kyrie rolls an ankle, that wasn't even enough to derail that. So, I mean, I didn't watch much of this because not only did I not want to see the team that like my family has rooted for so long now just get demolished and gets returned to that degradation, but at the same time, just it was never in the bounds. It was never competitive. I mean, you said you thought it was over with that LeBron James play. I thought it was over when Darren Williams, who was retired a couple months ago, had 14 in the first half, and there were no jump shots. He was getting to the 10. It's like him when he was on the Jazz. I was thinking that we're also going to pull out of retirement Mehmet Okur and Carlos Boozer. But Avery Bradley led the way. Wasn't the most efficient night, but it makes you think, is he going to get paid before Isaiah Thomas? Because a lot of people think if they draft Markelle Fultz number 1, Isaiah Thomas, they might not give him that max
it's
deal.
Expendable. Yeah.
Yeah, and arguably, Avery Bradley is a little bit younger. That's not arguable. But it is arguable he might do a few more things. Yeah. Birth certificates, usually, at least Americans, usually.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll go back to
Usually,
the 44th president.
Yeah, well, yeah, so will he get that? I don't know. I mean, granted.
That's down a whole other path. Let's get back to this year.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Game 4, they did not have a go-to guy in the 4th, and maybe that's the reason why they couldn't come back after they lost the lead. So Isaiah Thomas is that, so let's see who gets paid first. We'll see.
LeBron goes for 35. I thought he just looked dominant all night. And it was, when I say all night, that was me flipping back and forth whenever hockey would take a break. Because I watched the hockey game all night.
Yeah, even me, like I was saying a second ago, even me, I was watching that morning. Even Charles Barkley said late in the game, they had him on. Usually it's just like Reggie and I forgot who else was part of the broadcast team actually on the floor. He's up there in the stands with Shaq, a little bit too close to the fans if you ask me. He's saying, I want to go to my hotel room now, a little bit early and watch the NHL game. Probably because he had money on it. But
it was Chris Webber, his boy C. Webber, that was down on the sideline.
He has been pimping up the NHL all postseason time now, so
well, listen,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
My sport of hockey can take this. All right, real quick, Maddie. Another one in the fine jar. Dang it. The finals for the NBA won't start until June 1st. It's a set date. I don't like that they're taking this amount of time off, but if you're Cleveland, maybe you get a little bit of rest. I don't know. You played 13 games. The Warriors played 12 games this postseason. Does it really matter? Both teams should be well rested.
Yeah, and then it brings up the question of, does it help a LeBron, Kyrie, and company there with Cleveland? Does it help them that they had a little bit longer series beforehand, and it helped them that they took a loss?
Yeah.
Talked about this on the show before with different sports. Does that help them more, the fact that they got a little bit of a reality check?
Sure. That's a good
question. And consequently, that made them take a little bit longer. So, like you said, every team's each team is going to have plenty of rest.
more importantly, the NBA gets the finals that it wants. It gets the only series that is intriguing to anyone outside of Cleveland and Golden State. And that's the Warriors and the Cavs meeting for a third straight time. I wish both teams were entering 12-0, but one team entering 12-0 and one team entering 12-1 with a guy named LeBron James. I will watch. They've got my viewership, at least for the first couple games, but where does this series, where's the key in this series to you, Matty? I got one player that I'm keyed in on, but I want to hear yours first.
Well, if it's anything other than LeBron James, I don't care about Kevin Durant. I don't care about Steph Curry. I care about them to a certain degree, but for this question, it's LeBron James. I don't care about the MVP race. The MVP race in this sport professionally, they like to switch it up every year. So the fact that he may be best player this year isn't going to win it, not one of the finalists, doesn't matter to me. It's LeBron James. LeBron James is the best player. If you say anybody else, I'm going to stop. I'm going to walk away. So, just know that.
It's Kevin Durant.
Ay.
It's Kevin Durant.
He's not the same player. It's not as good.
I would argue that he is as good, that he's been able to fill a role and fill a need that team needs, and he's been unselfish in doing so. He's a guy that doesn't need the ball, doesn't need the attention like LeBron does constantly, but will step in and give you 30, 35 points when needed. This is all about Kevin Durant. The Warriors said to Kevin Durant in this free agency, Kevin Durant could have gone anywhere and made any amount of money he wanted to. He took less to win a title with the Golden State Warriors. This was a team that won 73 games but could not win the final 3 games of the year. So now you've added the best free agent piece and maybe, a top 3 player? Top 5 definitely in the NBA.
Maybe in this series, maybe on his own team, but no one is saying, oh, who's the best player of all time? Is it between LeBron?
No, I'm not saying best of all time.
Yeah,
I'm saying in this series. That's what I'm saying.
No.
In this series.
The better player is LeBron. I mean, LeBron's the best player.
Listen, he may be the better player, but the key player is what I'm telling you. I'm worried about the key player. To me, there's a different definition between best and key. Kevin Durant came here for a championship. Just like LeBron went back to Cleveland to bring them a championship, Kevin Durant is in Golden State for one thing, and that is to get a ring, to validate the move, to validate leaving Oklahoma City, to validate everything. He needs this championship more than LeBron does. He needs it more than anyone on the floor.
I'll give it to you. It's a big storyline. It's obviously a big storyline because of everything you just said.
LeBron goes to his 7th straight finals.
So does James Jones. Yeah, tip slam tonight. Old man. It's beautiful.
That is, to me, a remarkable statistic.
Yeah.
The amount of games he has played in the past 6, now 7 years is unfathomable. It really is.
A lot of people give him guff for not being that extra level of stepping up to the plate, especially in the postseason. And that's been a lot of different supporting casts, even when he's been on the same team.
Yeah.
Same organization. So it is, just think of that. That's absurd. That's an absurdly long time, especially to be in different cities for some of that.
All right, let's move on to the second topic, the NHL playoffs, the far more entertaining game of Thursday night. This one goes into double overtime. The Penguins, winner, chicken French dinner in the 7th game of the series.
Boo! Chicken French sucks.
What kind of chicken did you want then, Matt?
Cordon bleu.
Didn't give you the... I think I'm going to walk away now.
I never walked away.
You threatened it. I'll follow through. I'm a man of my word. No, I'm not.
How dare you speak ill of LeBron Quincy James? I have no idea if that's his middle name.
All right. Did you watch the hockey last night?
Yeah, I did. Absolutely. I saw all the goals, all the in-betweens. I wasn't really watching. I didn't think I watched any of the first period. But I definitely caught what mattered. The meat patates.
Right.
So goal went on.
This was an all-out battle. This was a war. And this Pittsburgh team is showing that experience matters. I think that's the difference. Ottawa's a darn good team. Washington was a darn good team before then. And throughout this entire series, and even before that, Columbus, you look at the road that Pittsburgh has had to take to get to the Cup final. You go through Columbus was the fourth best team, Washington the best team, Ottawa was probably the best team no one watched this year.
Well, yeah, Cardiac Kemba, the most what's going on, and the fact that it was so improbable that they got there gives them a lot of push. So that's a big one too.
The fact that they've been there before and they're playing this hurt. They've never done it. I heard Doc Emmerich say in the broadcast tonight, since I think mid-December, they haven't had like the same lineup. There's guys that have been injured, been rotated in and out. The pieces have been constantly in rotation. I mean, you think about this is a team that's without their best defender. Chris Letang is not playing in this playoffs. Can you imagine taking Erik Karlsson away from the Senators? I'm trying to come up with who would be the best Predator to take away, but take away any one of their top four guys. I mean, to me, it's just insane that this team has been able to win 2 now Game 7s. They've gone, 6 and 7 and 7 against the top teams in the league, really.
Well, it's just that they have so much veteran. I don't even need to actually have a word there. Those two just releases of energy from my mouth is really all that describes. They have so much of that
I think you're
that
looking
it
for experience.
overcame those injuries that we've been talking about week after week after week on the actual Sunday podcast.
Yeah,
it's so impressive. When you mentioned Karlsson, man, him and Anderson, you really got to feel for him.
Yeah, especially
Karlsson,
Anderson.
Again, in the scoring place, you hear Karlsson's name, even though he wasn't the one actually putting it in when it was all said and done.
Yeah.
He's there again. He has been so clutch. I mean, he had a big role in the Mark Stone goal. And then he didn't have, most of it is just Dzingel keeping with it. So he throws it off the post. And
right.
It was a little bit unlucky for Murray. It changes direction. It slows down off his back.
Yeah.
Dzingel hits it before it even touches the ice afterwards. So, but you hear his name. You hear his name twice in their goals tonight.
That second goal, that Karlsson clapper that got through that you're referring to, that went clean through.
Yeah, it was absurd.
That's an insane slap shot. To be able to make that shot, that's craziness to me. Absolute insanity that he could get that shot through. And he's an inch away from getting the goal himself. It works out for him in the end.
Yeah.
But no, I like your point about Craig Anderson. Karlsson, to me, was their best player. Anderson was their most important player. To me, his save percentage won't show it, and there were a few goals that maybe he would have liked back, but, I mean, he was the reason that game went into double overtime. Pittsburgh, in that first OT, Pittsburgh should have ended that in the first overtime. They had all the momentum. And I tweeted that out, that Pittsburgh just cannot figure out Anderson, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win it in the second.
I did see that tweet. But poor Kreger, because he had just a lot of big-time saves. I mean, there was a little bit of luck that gets put into some of them, but he had the one where he kind of lost it under him, but he's able to just kind of take control of the situation, sit on it before it crossed the line, and then not too long after that in the second, he doesn't know where it is in the air, and he's out of net, but he gets back in net, ends up saving it lying on his stomach. And there's some luck in terms of it hitting the post when you have it there in the third period. Was it something like just under 4 minutes left or something like that in regulation? So it comes off a skate, goes against the pipe. So that's lucky. But the fact that, he had to lay out and almost press it against the pipe in order to keep it out. So he really showed some skill after some luck. And that's what hockey is. You have a lot of redirects and stuff like that, and you just got to deal with it as it comes. It's just too bad.
Yeah.
It's just too bad for him. You feel for him, but I think the rightful team won.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Pittsburgh looked better in that Game 7. Chris Kunitz gets the game winner on what I have deemed the knuckle puck. To me, it was an actual knuckle puck. Anderson never really, I don't think, got a clean look at it. Pajot sort of got in the way, but I don't think it hit him. It just fluttered right over his shoulder, and it's such a tough puck to see because it's not one that Anderson's normally going to see. It's not a typical shot by any stretch of the imagination. The assist on that is from Sidney Crosby, who
Laid it off.
I thought Sid played very well tonight. A few times tonight, he looked completely exhausted. But for the most part, it wasn't his presence on offense wasn't his shooting or scoring chances. It was his distribution, where and how he was sending the puck. The places, we all saw the assist a couple of games ago, or was it last game maybe? He's back his face to the eventual goal scorer, and he goes between the legs. I mean, Sid, to me, is playing at an unreal level, and I think it's evident in the fact that he's not trying to do it himself, that he's getting his teammates involved. He's saying, how can I put them in the best position possible to score? I mean, this, to me, is as good as you're going to get out of Sidney Crosby. I'm glad to see that, especially after he was concussed in the Washington series.
But going back to that last goal, I mean, you really, I know I said you got to feel for Craig Anderson. You got to feel for him even more because he just leaves his arms up in desperation, in sadness, in exhaustion even.
Yeah.
And just the fact that it got through like that. And he had a lot of those. Schultz's goal, he had no idea. He was not aware of the puck until it hit the net.
Yeah.
Because he just got blocked out so bad and it was taken from so far out. I mean, I remember making a mental note in my head, like ZZ top when Schultz hit his, because you have Kunitz, Z, Schultz, Z, they were on top. Unfortunately, at least at the time, Zinger scores. I'm like, well, there goes the ZZ Top reference. But the Z-Man, another Z-Man came right back. Actually, she was all the Z-Mans besides Stone. So, yeah, he ended up scoring in the end. Look at that.
All right, last nugget. Last little business, if we may. The Sabres signing Victor Antipin. Victor Antipin. Victor A. He's a KHLer, a guy that's a little undersized, but I think should bring a good offensive presence and is a guy that should be able to clear the puck. So he may be the foreign version of Mark Pesic, or the KHL version of Mark Pesic is probably the better way to put it. Either way, it's a good signing for the Sabres. It's a good first signing for their new general manager, Jason Botterill. It's a need. This Sabres team is brutal on the blue line. I mean, that's what held them back all year. So, I don't know. I like it. I think they have to get aggressive. I think they have to get creative. Free agency is one way to do it. I think they need to be creative in the draft, the expansion draft, and then in potential trades. I wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like Kane get moved. Vander Kane, it would make sense. He's not a Botterill guy. He hasn't been, or he has had character issues. He hasn't been the highest character guy in the room. Botterill spoke about wanting high character guys. That to me is a move that makes sense. He ended the year very strong, so it's an easy suit for people if they think that another change of scenery would be good for him. And the Sabres have an obvious need on the blue line.
You mentioned Evander Kane. I remember a lot of people were talking about him at the deadline. He was playing so well. Like, we can actually get a lot out of this if we move him now. But you make a lot of good points. I mean, Botterill, that seems like Botterill, that seems like a guy that he really...
Botterill, sorry.
That's really against what... I mean, he doesn't even have to say that he's someone who likes high-character guys. You can just kind of get that from like how he was speaking, even in that introductory presser. But talk about your boy Victor A. When I think KHL, I think toughness. And if he's a defenseman that even plays that even more. I mean, I think KHL, I think they're fighting wolves in intermissions and stuff like that. It just seems like a lawless... like, that's the kind of guy you want. I don't care as much about clearing and his offensive potential coming up from the back, but I just think toughness when I think of KHL.
Oh, and that's a good point. I mean, Buffalo needs a blue-collar type team. You know, they need somebody that can be that rough and tumble guy. And if Victor can hold his own because he's an undersized guy, the KHL is a different game from the NHL. It doesn't always translate, but your hope is... Ooh, there's an alarm.
There it is.
Your hope is that it does translate, that this signing will be good and help this team, because that is, like I said, that's where the need is. It is obvious that this team has a pretty decent top six forwards. They got to clear out the bottom six, as Fots Matthew Collar said to us. Clear out the bottom six and get rid of everyone on the blue line besides Rasmus Ristolainen and maybe Jake McCabe. So,
but when you said it a second ago, before I rebutted about Victor A, it was creative. That's the word that I got the most, and that's what really excites me about the move. It's creative.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's going to have to be. He's going to have to be creative with not only who he gets, how what he signs them to, and how he manages this cap. And I know there were a bunch of questions pertaining to the cap at the time he signed, because they may not be as bad as the Bills in terms of cap space, but they're headed that way. I mean, Jack Eichel's going to get paid. O'Reilly got paid. Risto got paid. If Leonard keeps performing, Leonard's going to want to get paid. So your core group of guys that are there, I mean, listen, Kane is going to want to get paid if they don't trade him. Reinhardt's not there yet, but if Reinhardt can become what a number 2 overall pick should be, Reinhardt's going to want to get paid. And
he's close, though. It's coming up. Yeah, so I'm with you. I feel you.
Something is going to have to give here. So I'm interested to see how he manages the cap. It's a first step. It's a positive step, but I'm not thrilled. I want to see him on the ice. I want to see him play 10, 15 games before we can really see how his game meshes with Rasmus Ristolainen, how it meshes with the rest of the NHL. So is it a positive step? Yeah, I'll give you that, but there's still a lot of work to be done on this roster for a fan base that expected the playoffs last year, and we're right back to where we were, before you had the 8th overall pick last year and you got Alex Nylander.
You know what I bet he's really good in, Victor A, is that thing where you can go hop, 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 hop with the knife. Hop, 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 hop. Hey, I'm really breaking it down, okay? I'm really breaking it down, Victor
You will
A.
not get that on any other podcast.
And it's a
Just make the noise. You got to make the noise if you're going to do it.
I think that's the only way you can do it.
That's the key. That's the key to the whole operation.
That's what, to me, I think that's why he's so good at it.
All right, Matty. Damn it. 2 in the jar. All right, Matt. Sunday. Big show. You going to tell us?
We got Travis Eldridge.
There you go.
From the LAC Sports Network. Little delay there.
So I was trying to tee up. I was trying to... It's working. It's working. Now you've just given the viewers a heart attack.
Well, don't say it's because of us. We're going to get litigated hard.
It's
real hard.
It's a big lax weekend. I'm really looking forward to the games on Saturday, then on Monday. So we'll take in the Saturday games and preview Monday's game. That's the idea. We're going to be talking a lot of lax.
It's a big hat tip to Travis because, geez, in Foxborough this weekend you got I don't have a hat. So women's is what, D3, D1. And there's semifinals for D1, also semifinals for D1 men's, also D2, D3 finals, and the draft. Let's see who. See who not the Nighthawks, but let's see who.
The Rattlers.
Well, I don't remember if it's the Rattlers or the Nighthawks. One of the 2 professional leagues drafts in Foxborough this weekend. Oh, so it's the outdoor league draft.
I think
this
it's
weekend?
the outdoor league, isn't it?
I think so too.
I think they already drafted. No, I can't remember. Oh well.
So let's see who goes. Let's see who goes number 1. Is it Perkovic or Malloy from Brown or Rambo or Canizaro from Denver?
Rambo,
your boy Salcido. Your boy Salcido's up there.
Salcido's a little undersized, especially if it's for the indoor game. The outdoor game, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I was seeing something. I think those are the 5 in contention according to. I don't remember if it was U.S. Lacrosse Magazine or Inside Lacrosse, so we'll see.
All right, Matt. I will see you on Sunday. I will hopefully see all of you on Monday. Downloading the show. Yep.
Yao Ming?
Yao Ming. That's who I was expecting to see. Yao Ming. Download, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and Google Play. Download archived episodes. Leave us a review if you're an iTunes user. Leave us a comment below on this. Leave Yao a comment below on this.
Got Mark McGuire.
Or Mark McGuire.
Oh,
Is there a needle in his... No? Okay. All right.
Well, that's all. I mean, that's basically what I did just now. Unknowingly, I needled him a little bit. It's actually where they put it, I think, for the real thing, too.
Right.
I need to stop just thumbing his...
It's a good visual. It's a good... Oh, we really went off the rails. Good thing we recorded this Thursday night. Yeah, check out all the links below, or all the links below for all the social stuff. And yeah, tell a friend about. Let's start the Ponzi scheme of podcasts. If everybody tells 2 friends and they tell 2 friends, next thing you know, we got like 12 people watching this. We'll be like the Ponzi scheme. And only you can get in on it.
Oh.